Everyone, so today is officially free agency and Rob Pelinka is out here cooking. This guy got two quality players so far and free agency just began. As far as like talent for value, Rob Pelinka might have gotten the best. Now look, there are some players that are really good that have gone to teams and some teams have re-signed guys and stuff like that. But we're seeing a lot of role guys just get incredibly overpaid, which is surprising given the new CBA. And Rob Pelinka has convinced two very good, very, in my opinion, impactful players to come to the Lakers for fair market value, maybe even under market value, especially given the circumstances in which people are signing. So the first signing is a 3-and-D wing, which the Lakers really need, right? This was one of the biggest needs. 3-point shooting, perimeter defense, sizable switchable wings, and a center. Those were the big check marks. And with Taurean Prince, the Lakers checked off two of those. Perimeter defense, 3-point shooting, I guess even switchability. So there's three right there. Still young, 29 years old. They were able to sign him for $4.5 million, which very likely will be the biannual. Depending on how things shape up, he could end up going into cap space, but we'll see. Most likely, it'll be the biannual exception. They got him on the biannual. This is a guy that just 6'7", can play small forward, power forward, was very good for Minnesota last year. It was a shock that the Minnesota Timberwolves just let him go. What's even funnier is he was notified by Woj, right? We saw the old tweet where he was just like, oh, well, thanks for the heads up. And again, this was a guy that had big plays, big moments, shoots the ball well. For his career, he's a 37% three-point shooter. Last year, he shot 38% on 4 attempts per game. This is a guy that is a legit, sizable 3-and-D, and he shoots over 40% in that corner. Jared Vanderbilt, that was the big issue. Teams were just leaving Jared Vanderbilt wide open in the corner. Well, now you got a guy that you can't do that with. Now you got a guy that'll make you pay if you leave him in the corner. Also, side note, Jared Vanderbilt is in the lab right now. He's been working ever since the Lakers picked up his option. He's been working on that corner three heavily. There's videos and all kinds of stuff of him doing that. So that's good too. But this is a guy that could easily start and plug in as our starting three. He come off the bench, gives us flexibility, gives us switchability. Just a solid quality signing in my opinion. You got youth still. He's still young. He's talented. He's a guy that can come in and actually make an impact on this Lakers roster. He's not a guy that's going to come in and make 30 and give you 30 a night and something crazy, but the Lakers don't need that. They need hard-nosed, hustle, grit and grind, are willing to dive after basketballs, guard the best player on the other team, play multiple positions, do whatever is asked of the team. Coach, you need me to start tonight? Let's do it. Come off the bench tonight? No problem. Let's do it. That's what the Lakers need. The Lakers need guys that are just ballers. They're just basketball players. They're willing to accept whatever role is. They're willing to play the hard roles. They're willing to do the dirty work. Taurean Prince is that guy. I think he's going to be incredibly valuable for this Lakers roster. I think that this was a super sneaky pickup and very surprising given that this is a guy that was very good for Minnesota last year. Very good for Minnesota. But hey, their loss is our gain. They also got Troy Brown, so I guess you could argue we just kind of swapped forwards, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But Taurean Prince and his ability to play not only the small forward, but the power forward, just gives some nice flexibility, right? Gives us some really nice flexibility. And even with his size, he could play the 2 if you needed him to. So basically gives you a guy that can play 3 positions. So that's always very valuable. And then the other signing, which was surprising, was Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent, 27 years old, 6'3", was really good for Miami. Really good for Miami this season and in the playoffs. He actually was better in the playoffs than he was in the regular season. 6'3", 200 pounds. He's got good size, hard nose. Again, the type of players the Lakers need. Hard nose, can get after it on both sides of the ball. A guy that can spread the floor, make teams pay. A guy that, again, he's not going to jump out the page. He's not a guy that's going to come out and give you, some crazy 30 points per game or something like that. He is a guy that could play alongside D'Angelo Russell. He's a guy that could play alongside Austin Reeves. It does beg the question, though, is he the guy that is the D'Angelo Russell's replacement? Do Lakers work out on a sign and trade? Do they let him go? What ends up happening? Per Jovan Buha, at least at the time of recording this video, the Lakers do plan on re-signing D'Lo. Like, that is an option. So he's the Dennis Schroeder replacement. If they re-sign D'Lo, then he's the Schroeder replacement, which I think is a more consistent upgrade. You can make an argument either way for Schroeder or Gabe Vincent, but Gabe Vincent is more consistent, right? Dennis Schroeder isn't a great playmaker, neither is Vincent. Vincent's a little bigger. He's point of attack guard, does all the things that Dennis Schroeder does, but I think will be more consistent for the Lakers. And that's what they need. They need a guy that just wants to play basketball, and that's what he does. It's a guy that he can start, he can come off the bench. You can play him alongside D'Lo because D'Lo plays so well off the ball, so that really helps. You could play him alongside Austin Reeves. Now you got basically your backcourt rotation locked up. You got Austin Reeves, you got D'Lo, you got Gabe Vincent, you got Shafino, right? Jalen Hood Shafino. He can get a little bit of burn here and there, and it gives him time to develop and grow into the player that we want him to be. Also, with him being 6'6", 215, something like that, he has the ability to play the 2 as well, or even the 3 on some cases. So it's nice to have guys that can be switchable, that can be flexible, that can play multiple positions, that can do multiple things, that can be hard-nosed. And we got him for 3 years, $11 million per year. I'm curious to see how do they structure his contract, right? Like, because that means he's getting very likely the full mid-level exception, right? Or just shy of it, right? Because the full mid-level is like 12.4. He's getting $11 million. My guess is they structure it to where he gets like $8 million. So my guess, this is just a guess, they probably take Gabe Vincent and Taurean Prince and fit them both into the full mid-level exception, right? So Taurean Prince is getting 1 year, $4.5 million. My guess is he gets that $4.5 million, and then that would leave basically $8 million left over, which Gabe Vincent probably gets. That's probably how they do it, unless something crazy happens. But this does give the Lakers flexibility if they need to let D'Lo go, right? So, like, let's say, just hypothetically, like, let's say Brook Lopez does want to come to Lakers. Well, the Lakers could free up $17 million in cap space if they let D'Lo go. They could sign Brook Lopez, have Gabe Vincent kind of take the D'Lo role, and there you go. Right? Now you're in a position to where you got your replacement for D'Lo. Now you just need to find a backup point guard, whether that be Shafino. I would like a veteran guy at that point. Get somebody on like a vet minimum deal. Maybe you bring back Schroeder or something. It's going to be interesting. Regardless, I love this pickup. I think both of these guys are going to have real impacts on the Lakers this year. This is finding pieces within the edges, right? Like, that's what Rob talked about. We want to keep the core guys, but we want to find upgrades around the edges. In my opinion, these are upgrades around the edges, right? These are two guys that are going to provide more consistency. You're going to start rounding out your playoff roster, which you can already see, right? You got LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, right? Then you have Gabe Vincent, Taurean Prince, there's 6 right there. Jared Vanderbilt, 7. And then likely D'Angelo Russell is your 8th. And then my guess is they get a center, maybe like a Mason Plumlee, something like that would be nice. And then there you go. There's your rotation. There's your playoff rotation. And now you have depth, you have flexibility, you have everything that you need for a championship level run. And I think that is the best core scenario. And I'm excited. I really am. I genuinely think that this Lakers roster is better than last year's roster already, assuming, Rui comes back, Austin Reeves comes back, D'Lo comes back. I'm curious to see what they do with D'Lo, right? Do they really work out a sign and trade? Or do they kind of keep this roster intact? That'll be interesting, but my guess is they bring D'Lo back. He's the starting point guard. You got D'Lo, you got Reeves, you got Prince, you got LeBron, and you got AD, and then you got a bench unit of Gabe Vincent, You got Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura. Hopefully you get another center, let's say Plumlee, and then you have like Max Christie at the 2. There you go. You also have Lewis. You also have Shafino. Like, the Lakers are in a really good spot. You start looking at that roster front to back, and you're like, this is a championship level roster. But those are my thoughts and opinions. And as always, I pass the question on to you. Let me know yours down in the comments below. What do you think of these pickups? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you somewhere in between? Did you want somebody else? Again, I think value for player, Rob Pelinka did a great job so far. And we'll see. Free agency isn't anywhere close to being over. A lot of basketball, a lot of offseason left, a lot of talent still out there. It'll be curious to see how it all plays out. But anyway, again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know down in the